thing I want to do in my videos is put a TLDR down in the description, and for those of you that don't speak internet, it stands for too long, didn't read, which is basically, I'm going to put a time in the description where the real meat of the video starts, if that makes sense. So I'll probably I'll probably put the description as something about the Milwaukee drain snake systems, and then I'll put a time below when it starts, and then you can skip all the morning stuff that I was doing. What is going on, everybody? For those of you that don't know, this is what snow looks like. That's it. Nothing special. Just a light little dusting. And I did something really stupid. Up here in the northern states, the possibility of water freezing in the outside environment is very possible. Very real. And yeah, I would forget. Well, let me show you. So here's the siding project I've been working on for the last couple weeks. Sorry about the wind. And like a moron, I would leave my hose attached to it that I was using to wash the siding off. And that's ice. And that's ice in there too. I would forget, yep. Luckily I got my Milwaukee M18 compact heat gun. And we're going to try to thaw this thing up before it gets any worse. And hope it didn't pop and crack on the inside. These are the types of warnings I'd like to pass on to other people, but you think I can apply that to myself? I love my memory. It serves me so well. Yeah, this is taking a long time. I pulled the vacuum breaker cap off. I pulled the vacuum breaker cap off right here so that I get some more heat in and around it, and hopefully take that vacuum breaker off, and I don't know, maybe it'll work a little bit better, but this is just ridiculous. I'll have to show you what I did. I'll have to show you the mistake I made down in the basement where this goes into the back side of it. Okay, thank goodness. We got water flowing. So here's my big blatant oversight where I was in a rush to do some spray foaming with just the 2-part cans you can buy at whatever place. That's enough, cat. We've heard enough from you. So basically what I've done is encased the back side of the frost-free hose faucet in foam, basically isolating it from the conditioned space that we're in right now, which is a nasty basement, which I rushed to get completed when I moved in here in the first place, but so far so good. I got big plans for this basement, they're just not happening right now. So much snow. Not. This is just a little bit compared to what we've had before. We used to get, we've got a lot of snow before you were even born.
Yes, really did. You want Snow White? We got snow here.
I know.
It's actually winter here.
Well, technically the calendar says it's not winter until, I don't know, December 21st maybe? Whatever, we're calling this winter. Isn't snow just beautiful, right? Huh? Yeah, I mean, think of all of the southerners have to miss out on.
Sure is.
Think of the people in Texas and further south that they have to miss out on.
Sure
This is so beautiful.
Yes, beautiful.
Obviously, there are many benefits to not having to deal with snow and freezing temperatures.
What did you do?
Hey, birdie. So I wanted to do just a real quick video of these motion pack battery packs from Alberta. Anyways, I just want to show you their capabilities, and I've got them in my jacket. And right now I actually have the 16-volt version in the jacket, which is kind of scary because I burnt out the pocket elements. And we're going to see how quickly this heats up. Oh boy. We're starting to cook now. We got 135 degrees in the hottest spots around here, 140, 150. I don't trust this. I could have turned it down a mode. We're going to go to medium. That's cooking. Alright, so you get an idea of how hot these can get with the 4-cell or 16-volt packs. I'm going to put the 12-volt packs in there and see what that does in high. Alright, so about 125 is how hot those get with the 12 volt packs. Maybe a touch hotter, depending on what we're looking at. Your safest bet is definitely with the 12 volt packs, because I have burnt out the heated pocket warmers portion. In other words, I can turn this on. That is for the hand pockets. Heaters in there, and there's no way I'm going to read anything over there. They've been burnt out for, I forget how long, but they just don't work. That's still reading pretty good. Wow, so I just had the funniest feeling ever. I thought I knew this knife. I've had it for probably about 4 years. I give it to my wife so that she can use it just as a general purpose utility knife. And I go to pick it up, and there's a screw on this little rubberized part here, and it's magnetized. I'm wondering, why on earth would this ever be magnetized? So I'm looking at it further. It's got this little emblem here. It shows a little bit of a razor blade here. See if you can see it. I can focus on that. Oops. Anyways, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Is there blade storage on board? You squeeze those two tabs on either side, and oh yes, there's actually onboard blade storage. I was completely oblivious to this being here, and maybe I missed it on the packaging or whatever. But this is actually a pretty slick little cheap knife, and I kind of like the blade deployment being on the side versus on the top. For whatever reason, like I'm pushing on it, you don't have that button in the way. Do you mind, kitty cat? I don't want to cut your tail or anything, but it's just kind of a funny feeling, because I thought I knew my tools, and clearly I do not. I don't even know what model number this is. It's a slick little knife, just a general purpose knife. And that's how you change the blade right there, the little button. There you have it. There you go. The more you know, and the more I know. See, it's got a little magnet back there to hold the knife blades in place. Some of you may know I kind of explained what this room is about. It's a little addition I put on my house because it sits over an old cistern that was collapsing, and the ground was caving in. There was great big gaping holes, and a couple kittens died because there's water there. They drowned, which was terribly sad. But I tore it all down and built this addition on, and I'm still waiting on finishing it up to get some more insulation in here. It's been put on hold for the last, couple years, maybe not that long. But I'm trying to make up a little backdrop here, and this is my idea. I'm going to put the cardboard boxes that the Milwaukee drain clearing products came in, such as this air snake, and I'm going to kind of film it with this as my backdrop and cut these up and make like a little cool red Milwaukee themed backdrop. I'm definitely not one to want to do this all the time, such as having a little setup here, and showcase them, blah blah blah, talk to you about them in front of them and show you how they work. I actually want to use them on the job site, that's how I am, and that's how I want to play this. But it's been too long trying to get this set up and involved in an actual job site setting, so I want to bring this to you. I know a lot of guys were asking. I'll just simply explain what they're about and my experiences with them so that you get an idea. Get them out in the field and actually show them in action, And those are the opportunities I want to film and bring for you guys and show them in actual use, so you know that they're actually a good or not so good tool. Alright, on to our next phase of the video. We're going to talk about the Milwaukee cordless drain cleaning equipment. This right here has kind of become my favorite for toilets. Is, as you can clearly see, the air snake. We can take a look at the wall brochures here in a minute, but whoa! And just like that, it has some pressure. It's kind of hard to see, but it has about 5 pounds of pressure in there. It's basically a miniature air compressor inside here with a little chamber, and you release it with your trigger, like a kinetic air ram, or this is basically the same principle. Now, I've used it a couple of times in the toilets, and it actually works really good, not only to clear a blockage in the toilet with an attachment such as this, and yes, it's been used. Why do you think I'm wearing gloves? But also, if I want to clear out the trap of water, I'll show you in a little bit. Next up is actually the M18 drain auger. It's got a 5/16 by 35 foot cable that came with it, and you can put different sizes in there. You can get drop heads, you can get attachments on them. You can basically put whatever cable you want in here. The one that came with it is just a simple ball head. So it's got a couple different features with it. We'll cover a little bit of the lock and the auto feed, the reverse, forward, reverse, a light, and I'll show you a bit more later. Next up is this two-part beast. Here we actually have the cable portion that contains a couple of attachments on the front and a lock that straps it to the battery pack, which you actually put on your back, and it's got a kickstand here. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Then what they've had out for a little bit of time now is their trap snakes, the urinal and toilet trap snakes. And it comes with a hand crank if you want, but this is the battery powered motor assembly. And my kit came with a 2.0 amp hour battery, so it snaps in there. You take it off the clip, you feed it in, that locks, pulls back, you get the idea, you feed it through, you do your job. Lifesaver, so you don't have to crank when you really need the power. And then of course it extends out. I'll show you a little bit later. Basically the urinal auger is the same, it's just a little bit smaller with a smaller cable on it. And lastly, I've had this the longest, the M12 auger. It's been out the longest too, of course. And this has been used the most in kitchen drains and laundry drains. And I've even cleared a 4-inch of a soft blockage because I was completely desperate one late night. So that is completely filthy. And I actually put a drop head on that. Alright, so let's work our way backwards. This is a model number 2571. It comes with either 1/4 inch or 5/16 by 25-foot cable. Just with a bulb here, not bulb head, not this. I actually got a second 5/16 inch cable and welded it together. So I have 50 foot in here, kind of heavy. And I should really just get a 50 foot, or I should actually just use the M18 if I want a longer cable. So that was before the other items came out. Basically, you just feed it in as you're going. It's got plenty of power. It's always had plenty of power for me with a larger capacity battery in there. And this will lock it. If you need to go in and out, it will lock the cable from moving on you. It's got a shroud that covers this part so you can set it down. It's got a light. It does all that jazz. It's been pretty good to me. I put like I said, a drop head on it so I could go down T's instead of if it wanted to go up a vent. That should make sense to all of you, right? So I've had this the longest. That's about it. So this is what I have done for the M12 drain auger that I just showed. It came in its own Milwaukee bucket, which lasted about a week before it developed a crack in the bottom. So throw those buckets out if you got them. And I also got a bucket organizer that goes on the outside to contain my gloves and different attachments, and a hose for a bladder jetter, and rags, and a couple different things in there. Electrical tape, you never know. It's always handy to have. It also has a base here that you can sit it on something, but I've found kind of worthless, and just for a couple reasons. First, when I put a larger battery pack on here, let me get one, it won't sit. You can see it clearly does not sit like that. Secondly, when I'm having it in the bottom cabinet in the kitchen sink or something, I'll have it sitting like this, and I never really use the stand. It'll sit like this, so it's angled up to get into the drain, if that makes any sense, right? Alright, so back to the trap snake urinal and toilet trap snakes. This, of course, is powered by the M12 battery. It's got a slow motor, so it does, it obviously doesn't whip around and do any damage by going too fast. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, again, this is the cable. You obviously you don't want to. You want to feed it into the toilet like this, so you don't damage the porcelain, and you can get this rubber inside the trap of the toilet, and you're not damaging it. And then you can start feeding it in. So this has worked out really, really well. And it's got a little clip that stays here. Pretty decent. It could be maybe a little bit tighter. Anyways, this extends out to 6 feet. This urinal auger extends out to 4 feet. I will show you how. Alright. Once you get it in there, then up here you can first what you want to do is lock it like that. Push the little release button, pull it back. Now this locks the cable from moving. And as I pull back on the bar, on this shaft, the outer shaft here, this stays in place, it stays in the drain, and extends it. And then it's got another hole here where this ball the spring-loaded ball snaps back into place. You unlock it, and then continue feeding it in. And then you reverse the process when you're pulling it out. Pull it out until you see the ball here. Lock it. Push it in. Alright. Push it back in until you get it to the second hole. Unlock and continue to pull it back out. Okay, so one thing I wanted to cover was these two trap snakes here and the motor pack. I put up a blog about this, in a review blog for Acme Tools on their blog site, and the biggest thing about this is this urinal trap will only work as good as a hand-powered one, because sometimes it's not going to get through the trap. So if you do get it through the trap, it's amazing because you don't have to stand there and hand crank. You got the motor to do it for you. So that part is amazing. The toilet trap snake, I've never had a problem with that. So just be aware that this urinal will just simply take away the hand crank. It might be a little bit better at getting through the trap because it's powered, but nothing to write home about. It does save on the arms immensely. Okay, so next thing we're going to cover is the new M18 drain auger. This comes with a 5/16 by 35 foot long cable, so you get 10 extra feet right off the bat over the M12 version. Obviously you can also adapt, you can swap it out for cables of your choice. Now right away, you might be thinking this looks like another one of Milwaukee's box, and that's because it does look similar to the Milwaukee 13-inch toolbox, but it's not as tall as this one. This has a handle on top where you can hold it like that. Two latches, pop it open, and it comes with this tray on top that houses your charger and your battery. It comes with a 2.0 pack. It will fit the larger 4, 5, 6 amp hour packs in here, but not the big Boeing 9 amp hour pack. So that is one thing to consider. If you want to put a 9.0 in here, it's not going to fit. Pull it out, simple as that. Right? And this bucket, look at it, it's got a stand it can fit. Here's one of their regular size packs, and here's the big boy 9.0. Okay? It's the slim pack 2.0. That fits without hindering the stand. We got the larger guy here, the 10 cell 5.0. Then we got the 15 cell 9 amp hour. Now that does not fit as well, but it doesn't really hinder it from standing up. It just simply will not fit in this onboard tray. Okay. Set this back in here. It's got a light, you can see it comes on. So I really thought that this was cool, how they did the lock and auto feed mechanism. And again, this is a 5/16 inch cable with just a simple bulb head on it. I would definitely swap this out right away for a drop head cable. But regardless, it has a forward and reverse. And to feed the cable in, you move it forward, lock it in, and by tightening this, it adds more or less pressure on the cable, and you can actually help feed it in and actually do it that way. Obviously put it in neutral or very little pressure on it, feed it in and out that way. And be careful what gloves you wear. Be very careful with rubber gloves. You want leather gloves to be really safe. And if you want it to have full control over it, tighten it right down and it will feed it in. Right? Now here's the little hiccup that I'm not sure I really care for so much. In order to auto feed this back in, you leave it in the auto feed position and put the selector switch in reverse, right? There we go. And then, like I said, you can vary the pressure on the cable and you can feather it so that way when it's feeding in a little bit, and when it hits a blockage, it's not going to keep trying to go because it can slip a little bit on the auto feed mechanism. And that way it's not likely to push it in and try to kink it or make it go everywhere outside of your pipe. So I'm going to see how this works in the coming months, whether or not I'm really going to use the auto feed in the reverse. Because once I have whatever it is wrapped around my cable, I don't want to unwrap it in the pipe, but at the same time it might just not do anything at all and it'll pull it back anyways. It'll pull the blockage back anyways. So then to lock it in one place, you put it in the neutral position. This is forward and tightening down to auto feed it. Put it in the neutral position, pull it back, and lock it in. And now it can't move in either way, and it also will not feed it either way. Okay? Simple as that. I really like this. It's large. It has a rubber grip surface. I'm not so sure how long it will last for durability purposes, but we're going to see. Stick that back in. I think it's really, really cool of them to have a dedicated box container for this, because you got a bunch of shmoo in there. When you're leaving a customer's house or whatever, it could be a problem, obviously, to contain that if you don't have your own device, your own bucket, your own containment system. I'm going to leave this battery on, and that will fit on there. The 10 cell pack will fit on there too. Okay? But do not expect the 9-ohm big boy to fit on there, okay? It squeezes this bucket out, and this isn't going to fit. Anyways, so that's the really basic idea of how this operates. I'll get into more detail as I have a little more experience with this, but this is brand new and available now. So next up is something I'm pretty excited about, and that's what they call their switch pack. This is the Milwaukee M18 switch pack. I think it's actually a pretty cool design. Whether or not the whole design overall is going to hold up, again, is one of those durability tests you can't know until a year down the road. Right? So it comes in 2 sections. This is designed to go on your back. Got backpack straps that button up when you don't need to use them. Right? This has the motor. This has the cable for your foot pedal. Okay? That slips right in here. And this cord, obviously, as you saw me take it out, fits here. Okay? And this fits on your back. And the idea is to carry this on your back and carry this by hand. Obviously, it's not so heavy. You can distribute the weight between the 2 halves of the machine. You got your forward and reverse up here. Right? And, of course, your battery fits in here. Any one of the batteries will fit. The 18-volt batteries will fit, right? The 10 cell packs, the 15 cell packs, right? So, to insert, to put these 2 halves together, you do have to remove the switch here. It actually has little holes and little nubs of plastic to hold it in place. So, don't beat it around, be careful, because, it's just plastic, It's kind of sitting up here in the way, and I wonder if I can take that off. No, I guess I can't. So this goes together by taking that foot pedal out. Slip this in here. Okay. And it has a pulley in here that sits on a belt. That is spring tension, so push this down and latch it together on both sides. There is no auto feed on here, much to my dismay. This is where the attachment sits, and this is where the tool sits to swap out your head attachments. It's actually a pretty simple system, and I hope it will be dependable over the long run. This slips in here. It's got a little angle point on it. Slips in here, pushes the button back, and you slip it out. To put a new head on, put it in the direction where this little angled portion of the metal is, so it can push that spring-loaded button in, and it pops in place. This is kind of out in the open and kind of exposed, but again, we'll see how long it lasts. Basic operations, if you know how to run an auger, pretty simple. This is a drop head for maybe your 3-inch line, 4-inch line going from your toilet. It's not a main drain snake. It's not a main machine by any means, so this will clear your bigger lines in the house. The basic operations, obviously, feed that in, do your thing, and here's your foot pedal. Let's put it in forward. Okay. So this is a 3/8 inch by 50 foot long cable, and you can get different drums to swap in here on the fly, as it were. Or you can pull this whole thing out and swap it like I just did the heads. So, take this off, I push it down against the tension of the belt inside there. Pull this off. And this opens up itself here to get to the inner drum, right? There's a couple screws you take out, and you can pull it out, and you can put your different size drums in here. Or like I said, you can pull the whole snake out, the whole auger cable out, and swap it out. So, that's the basic operations of that. And this is the 2775B211. Because it comes with one battery and the type of cable. I don't need to be a talking pamphlet. You can go on Milwaukee's website and find out the details if you want. But obviously you can put any size cable in that you can get from Milwaukee, or swap out the whole drum like that. Different attachments, you can do your own customization. Nothing stopping you from doing that. I know from obviously personal experience, I like to customize my tools. So, and lastly, we have the air snake. And that model number is 2572B-21, which indicates one battery. And I think the B indicates extra attachments that don't come with maybe another kit. So this attachment is with this kit, a 10-inch extension. And I believe this kit is different because it comes with the toilet attachment. So I've been using this the most. People like to clog their toilets, and I am happy to unclog them. So as you saw at the beginning, real basic. This is like a kinetic air ram. You got your battery. You got your battery level indicator. You got a light. Put your attachments on. If you're going to go set this over a tub drain or a shower drain, pull back on the collar, click it in, and you're good. A little bit of a rubber piece on that. This button here you hold for 3 seconds. Well, first of all, actually, set your pressure to about 5 pounds when you're first starting out on a drain. 5 pounds when you first start on a new drain, you don't know how the integrity of the drain is. Set about 5 pounds. Hold the button for 3 seconds. It'll go to that pressure and no more. Automatic. I love it. Set it down on, pop your trigger. That's the basic operations. You're gonna find a lot of different methods to do this. And one trick I wanted to pass on to you. Get this guy out. What is going on? What is going on? Well, at least it's in there tight. Got my extension. So my favorite method of clearing a toilet, 10-inch extension, the toilet adapter. Set this up to about 20 pounds. And what I'll show you here is I'll hit the button, let it build up a little bit of pressure. I'll hit the trigger so that way it's never building pressure up to the point that I set and it won't turn itself off. And then I can keep blasting it a little bit until it clears. Or if I want to clear the water out of the trap, I'll just keep doing that. So hold the button. Let it build. So I hope that helps. Make sure to clear the air out of that. Whoops! Got a couple different attachments you can play around with. It's got an angled piece, if you need to get it in a funny angle, 15-degree angle piece. So this is 1 to 2 inch drain adapter, 2 to 3, and a 3 to 4. And of course the angle adapter. And like I said, you can get different kit configurations to get, I believe, just these or the whole shebang. Because you can get so creative with the boxes that they send you, right? Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it tells you everything you need to know. Why wouldn't you buy it? Well, you know, obviously there's a price. So, like I was talking about, you can get different drums and you switch between. It's super easy. You can get the whole drum or you can just get the inner drum. So, there you go. I don't want to be a talking pamphlet. You can go online and find out that information yourself. My wife just asked me if I use sanitizer wipes on my drain cleaning equipment when I'm done with them. I might wash them off to keep them clean and you know, prevent rust from setting in, but I don't use sanitizing wipes on everything. They keep a little bit dirty, just a little bit, so don't touch them. She's a nurse, she reminded me. Oh yeah, one last thing before I head out. This is simply an overview. Okay? I'll put them to use and get a review when I come back. So don't get all excited. I haven't quite used them to their full capacity just yet. You know, I have high hopes for this stuff as replacing a corded auger for inside the home use. I mean, like I said, it's not a replacement for your mainline auger, but it will, realistically, it will clear any drain inside the house. So, like I said, I have high hopes for it, but I'm not asking it to fail, just keeping my hopes conservative, and we'll see how it runs from there. Alright, well, I'm going to kind of leave it like this. I'm going to head out to my in-laws and have a little bite to eat and join up with the rest of my family. See how that goes, and until next time, thanks for joining along, and we'll see how this goes. We'll keep you updated. So I was just going to show you what the new line of Milwaukee cordless drain cleaning equipment is like. But you know, it's going to get warm in here, so I'm going to have to remove a layer here.